Another round of rain, possibly more intense, will hit California this weekend. And as you just heard, one at a time, in devastating fashion, thousands of what once made California's neighborhoods and downtown so beautiful have fallen. Trees up and down the state succumbing to the saturated ground that hasn't been able to hold them in place through now 6, leaning into 7 rounds of storms over just a few days, and winds that have hit hurricane force. So we know the terrible impact of the people, homes, and cars and power lines hit by them as they fell. But what's the impact to the state in losing so many trees? It's a question I'm putting to Walter Passmore, the state's urban forester. Walter, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So what is the impact? You're the state's urban forester. What's it been like for you to see California losing so many trees just everywhere, back to back to back to back?
Sure, it's certainly a concern. It is a time of caution for residents, but not a time for panic. If you look at the trees that are lost in comparison to the population, it is a small number. Not to minimize that there is risk out there, and people should be cognizant of that risk and do something about it. So inspecting your tree, referencing good information. So one of the unbiased information sources that homeowners can access is treesaregood.org. It's an industry website, and it gives a lot of good advice.
Alrighty. Unfortunately, we're all too familiar with losing trees and other ground cover in the massive wildfires that often burn through our state. But in some of those instances, trees are partially damaged. They can come back. Groves can be rehabbed. But for the kind of loss we're having now, trees are just uprooted. You know, they're split in half. They're just gone.
Sure, we have lost some trees, full tree failure, and obviously we'll need to consider if those can be replanted, and if so, do we plant the same species in the same site, or do we change something? There may be good reasons why that tree failed in the first place that we don't want to repeat the same conditions.
Now, should you save or leave a tree standing that maybe did split in half during the storms, but part of it looks like it's okay? I'm guessing that would only happen a split if maybe one part was weak and another part was healthy?
We would encourage all residents to consult a professional arborist. They can make those type of assessments and determine whether a tree can be retained in a safe and healthy condition or not. So don't rush into anything. Consult a professional. Again, use the information on treesaregood.org and make informed decisions. Be cautious of people that are knocking on your door right after the incident happens.
I was going to ask you about that. Unfortunately, after any kind of emergency like what we've been through, there are unscrupulous folks who are going door to door. I mean, it's obviously to see where the problems are because most people can't haul away or do anything about the large trees that have fallen on their property or near their property, and everybody's calling all of the same folks. So what are some of the questions you need to be asking a company that's approaching you?
Make sure to ask if they are licensed and insured. That is critical. And then you do want to have a certified arborist on staff with the company to ensure that their methods are sound and aligned with industry practices. And then any replacement or pruning that they're recommending is done in accordance with industry standards.
All righty. And folks statewide right now are thinking about, the trees on their property because they're watching all of this happen if it hasn't already happened to them. And they're thinking about those trees differently than they were thinking about them maybe 2 weeks ago. They might have loved them 2 weeks ago. So some folks, even if they haven't had any problems, might be thinking about cutting down all of the trees on their property. Is that something that people should be doing?
We would definitely not recommend that. Trees provide so many benefits to people, and the loss is big in comparison to the risk. Most trees present a very minimal risk of failure, especially if they're well maintained.
All righty. Thank you so much for your insight. So many people with so many tree questions right now. It's just overwhelming. We appreciate you.
Thank you.